The following is a production of WCMP Sports.
Came out in front for Larson.
It's time for Rivalry Night Basketball here on WCMP and KBEK. Tonight we'll see the Pine City Dragons getting set to battle the Mora Mustangs. Tip-off is coming your way shortly, but now we send it to the court for the pregame. And welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to tonight's broadcast of high school basketball here on WCMP and KBEK. That's right, it's a simulcast here on both these stations of WCMP and KBEK. 100.9 FM for WCMP, 95.5 FM for KBEK. And I want to thank you all for tuning in here tonight to this rivalry matchup between the Dragons and the Mustangs of Mora. This should be a fun one here tonight between both these teams, and I am very ready, very excited for tonight's matchup here between these two rivals, the Mustangs and the Dragons, going at it here tonight. And over on 106.5 FM rather, it is the Pine City Dragons, a boys hockey team, taking on Monticello in that section quarterfinal. And you might have heard the split-second audio from it, but it is 2-1 over there in Monticello, with the Dragons down by 1. So Monticello and Pine City went into overtime in their one game earlier in the season, and then it was a 4-0 win the second time around for Monticello. So Pine City looking to pull out some magic here in that game and try and come away with a victory and move on to the semifinals. In our game here this evening, it is between two rivals, as I mentioned, and these two teams do not like each other, and Mora has kind of had the upper hand as of late over the Pine City Dragons the last couple of years. I believe we go back all the way to the 2019-2020 season. Pine City kind of had the upper hand all the way up until that season, and then I believe the Mora boys got the victory over Pine City in the regular season. Then they went to playoffs over at St. Cloud State. I believe that was the section semifinal, and Mora got the victory over Pine City in that one as well, and they were off to the section championship. Well, that unfortunately did not happen due to COVID, and everything got shut down. But the last couple of years after that as well, Pine City has fallen to Mora, and Pine City looks for a win here tonight to continue their winning streak. These two teams play in the same section, 6AA, and it should be a fun one here tonight. The Mustangs sit at 6-3 in the section, 17-4 overall. Pine City 4-2 in the section, 13-10 overall. This Mustang offense, the best in section 6AA. They score about 68 points per game. I was looking at Malacca. Malacca is the best scoring offense here in the section with 75 points per game. But Mora sits at about 68 points per game, and they only give up about 46 points per game. Pine City, they score about 64 and give up about 58. So offenses sometimes in this section can be at a premium just because of the defense and just because of the sheer talent in this section. And Mora is ranked number 2 in the section, while Pine City is at that number 10 spot. And as it sits, if Pine City were to finish 10th, as we took a look at the bracket for section 6AA, they would play on the road against the number 7 seed, and that would be Melrose. So they would have traveled to Melrose to take on the Dutchmen, I believe they are. But for Mora, they're the number 2 seed, and the number 2 seed will play the number 15 seed. That would be Holdingford there for Mora at home. That is if the things stay the way they are right now. There's very good possibility that these standings change in the section, and we'll have to wait and see. We've got a couple of games left to go, and we will wait to see who will finish where. But tonight, the Mora Mustangs coming off a loss last Friday against Malacca, their rivals, their conference rivals from just down the road. They lost to them in that game, and Malacca got a huge upset. That pushed them from 5th in the section to 3rd, right behind Mora. And right now, Mora 15 in the state. They're top 20. But again, that loss to Malacca 65-52 puts them at 7-4 in their conference. It's been a tough conference season. And for Mora, it still has them in second, tied with Little Falls and Malacca for that second place spot at 7-4. Albany has it all wrapped up. They are 11-0, 22-1 on the season. But again, Mora comes into this game 17-4, 6-3 in the section, 7-4 in the conference. And this, very important one for both teams because it's a section game, and the winner will certainly help their standings. If Mora were to win, I think that would keep them in that second place spot. But if Pine City were to win, that could push them into a spot where they would get a home playoff game. If they were to win here tonight, you got Spectrum and Annandale along with Melrose above them in those 9, 8, and 7 spots. You only need to get to that A spot to get a home game. So if Pine City can win here tonight, could they jump 2 teams? I think they could, because Annandale, Spectrum, and Melrose all have close to losing records. The only one that has a winning record out of those 3 is Annandale at 4-3, but they're 12-10 on the year. So there's a good chance if Pine City were to get the victory tonight that they would jump them and move into that 8th or 7th seed spot. But Mora, if they were to hold on and win here tonight, they themselves would be pushed and I think locked pretty much into that 2nd seed. There is a good possibility though that Malacca, depending on how they finish the season, could push them out of that number 2 spot just because they did beat them in a conference matchup here this season. So it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to watch here as we go along for Mora to see how it all plays out, and for Malacca. Malacca's 11-2 in the section this year, so it hasn't come easy. And they did play earlier in the year. It was a double overtime win for Mora in Malacca, 82-76. But with that win in Mora for Malacca, that just helps them that much more. So it's going to really come down to the end of the season to see how things shape out, as Mora is a 17-4 record, Malacca a 17-5 record. So it's going to be very interesting to see how it finishes out. Mora, this is one of their final 5 games of the year. After this, they'll be on the road on, well, maybe Thursday to Foley, and then they'll wrap it up next, then they'll have one more game this week up at Aiken on Saturday. Then they'll wrap it up next week on Tuesday with a home game against Spectrum, and then on Friday on the road at St. Cloud Cathedral. We will see if they get to play that Thursday game at home against Aiken. I would assume not. So they'll probably have to try and make that one up. I would guess maybe Friday if they can, maybe even next Monday or Thursday. They'll look to push that one off too. But why don't we go ahead and take a look at Malacca, since it is such an intriguing number 2-3 race to see who finishes where. It won't really matter when it comes down to it because you still only get one home game, and then you're off to the neutral site. As we take a look, the neutral site will be St. John's University, and then the championship is at St. Cloud State. So it doesn't matter who gets the 2 or 3 seed too much. It does because of home seeding, but it only matters because of who you play. So Malacca right now 17-5. They will play, well, St. Cloud Cathedral Thursday. They'll have to switch that. Then they're on the road to Albany next Tuesday, on the road to Becker Thursday, and hosting Piers on Friday. So if they can beat St. Cloud Cathedral and Albany, 2 conference teams and section teams, they would be not only move up into that 2nd spot. That no one's gonna rival Albany for the number 1 spot. It's just not going to happen. But if they could beat St. Cloud Cathedral and Albany, I think they would firmly lock themselves into that number 2 spot over Mora, and I don't think there would be any way Mora could kind of scratch their way to that number 2 seed. It'll be interesting. Again, if they both win out, it'll be very interesting to see how things go. But as we take a look over at the Pine City Dragons, the home team tonight against the Mora Mustangs in this boys basketball game, again in that 10 spot, 13-10, and 4-2 in the section. A win tonight would definitely push them into a spot where they would host a home playoff game, but they have a couple more games to go, and it doesn't get any easier. They will travel to Hinckley-Finlayson on Thursday. That will probably more than likely be made up Friday or next week, and then they'll play their final game presumably next Tuesday at home against Esco, but we'll see if that will be the last one or if they'll reschedule that Hinckley-Finlayson one for later next week. So stay tuned to us. We'll keep you up to date on all the cancellations and everything. Of course, our Facebook is the easiest way to keep up with that. That's the easiest way for us to post the updates and breaking news and cancellations and all of that, because it is just way easier for us to do that than try and make a whole article about it and post it to our website and post it to our Facebook. And then, so it's just easier for us to post it to our Facebook. So stay tuned to our Facebook for all the cancellations, updates, and breaking news, as well as local sports reports and news as well on WCMP and KBEK. So again, these two teams, a very important game here tonight. Pine City coming in and looking to win their third straight in a row, while the Mora Mustangs look to get off of a loss against Malacca. And with a win here tonight, a very important matchup between these two teams, as the winner will really help themselves in the section standings. Mora doesn't have as much to play for as Pine City, but pride-wise, you want to win this game no matter what. But again, seeding-wise, Mora, whether they're in the number 2 or 3 spot, really doesn't matter. They'll still get a home game. But if Pine City were to win tonight, that'll push them into a home playoff spot, and that would really help them, because then they get at least one home game for the playoffs before going to St. John's. So we are just about set for tip-off here. We'll get our national anthem and our starting lineups here on WCMP and KBEK, and when we return, we will be ready for tip-off here on this simulcast here tonight. Of course, you're listening to boys basketball on both WCMP and
Are you interested in a
KBEK.
technical degree that can quickly help you land your dream career? Or maybe you've always dreamed of going to a 4-year college, but you'd like to start close to home. Either way, Pine Technical and Community College has you covered. PTCC offers more than 50 degrees in hot fields like healthcare information technology, advanced manufacturing, and business. PTCC is now accepting applications. Financial aid may be available online at pine.edu. Starting out or starting over, find your future at Pine Technical and Community College.
Hey, I'm Chad Greenway. When I was playing, I loved chasing down running backs. But you shouldn't have to chase your bank around when you're buying a home. Franzen Bank and Trust Mortgage Consultants will be with you stride for stride, like a linebacker on a running back, from pre-approval to closing and beyond. Let Franzen Bank guide you through the mortgage process. Learn more at franzenbank.com/get there. Franzen Bank and Trust. Real people, real results. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
A&W Restaurant Pine City is still making fresh root beer, that signature item since 1919. It's still made fresh and on-site with real cane sugar and a blend of secret ingredients. It doesn't get any better than this. Their world-renowned A&W root beer is a classic treat, and they can top it off with creamy vanilla soft serve to be known as the famous A&W root beer float. Now that's smooth, tasty, and refreshing. An American iconic A&W root beer float. It never tasted so good. A&W Restaurant Pine City. Come grab your root beer float today.
Your tomorrow is important to Pine Insurance Agency and Grinnell Mutual. That's why you can trust us to provide you with personalized service and a full range of insurance coverages you can count on. We'll be there when you need us, so you can trust in tomorrow. For all your insurance needs, contact Pine Insurance Agency, your local Grinnell Mutual agent at pineagency.us today. Trust in Tomorrow is a registered trademark of Grinnell Mutual Reinsurance Company.
This high school sports season, Wellia Health wants to remind you that they want to help your athletes stay in the game. Sports medicine services are available at every Wellia Health campus. Whether it's the young athlete, the weekend warrior, or the accomplished athlete, injuries can happen. Get back in the game by calling the sports medicine experts at Wellia Health, 320-679-1313. Wellia Health. Live life well.
Did you know that Franzen Bank and Trust is a Minnesota-owned company? And they're one of the largest community banks around. That's a great combination. As a community bank, they're dedicated to their customers and the communities they serve. You might say they're big enough to help, small enough to care. Last March, they provided $20,000 in grants to 6 different Minnesota communities. They also processed well over 1,700 PPP loans, allowing local small businesses to keep their employees on the payroll during the pandemic. Franzen Bank and Trust. Real people, real results. Member FDIC.
Back here on WCMP, KBEK, 100.9 and 95.5 FM. Your starting lineups for the Mora Mustangs, who are head coached by Kurt Gracek. They're wearing their white away uniforms with the blue letters and numbers. It'll be number 3, Josh Hagerness. Number 4, Dallas Fix. Number 5, Jonah Smart. Number 15, Max Sampson. And number 23, James Osland. It is worth mentioning that Gage Brady not playing here this evening. He is in his street clothes, so I don't know if he's injured or what, and I'm not going to speculate, but he is not playing tonight for the Mora Mustangs. On the other side for the Pine City Dragons, of course, head coached by Kyle Allen. It'll be number 11, Ashton Seals. Number 14, Isaiah Haas. number 23, Luke Wilson, number 24, Lamont Sidney, and number 32, Riley Cummings. Dragons are wearing their home green uniforms with their white letters and numbers outlined in black and the white stripe down the side. Mora has those 2 blue stripes running down their side of their jerseys and shorts, and this should be a good one. This is probably going to be the most physical basketball game we've seen. This is probably going to be the basketball game that most resembles a hockey and or football game. I mean, that's just how physical it's going to be. It's a rivalry game. These 2 teams don't like each other. It gets heated. It gets chippy. This is going to be a fun one. Now, of course, we got to remember everyone, the players, coaches, everyone involved, they got to keep their heads about them, because one way to really turn things on its head is to be too emotional in a game like this, and that can lead to, technical fouls. It can lead to, ill-advised, fouls. It can lead to, you playing out of your own element. So both teams are going to have to try and keep their emotions in check, but it's going to be tough. This is a rivalry game, and these 2 teams don't like each other. Pine City looking to get off the losing streak against Mora. Mora looking to continue their winning streak against Pine City. It should be fun. It's Cummings. It's Oslin at center court for tip-off. It is up, and it is won by the Mustangs. It's Josh Hagerness taking the place of Gage Brady in that starting lineup for Mora, who will receive the tip. He'll bounce it off to Oslin. Far side now to Fix. Fix now to Hagerness. Hagerness takes it inside. He'll drive top of the key, and already we're hearing Pine City student section get into it. I'm sure the Mora student section will reciprocate. Oslin goes inside, and Sampson, no good. They're going to get a foul here on the Dragons early. Not what you want if you're Pine City. They got Sidney or Wilson. I could not see. It's going to be Sidney. His first, team's first, and Sampson at the line to shoot 2. And the first one is good. Sampson on the second one is no good. So he makes 1 of 2, does Max Sampson. Misses the second, and it's rebounded by Cummings. The other way now come the Dragons. It's Luke Wilson, gives it off to Haas. Haas to Sidney, and this will probably be a game where we see a lot of Sidney and Haas, because those 2 are their physical guys, and that shot is no good from Sidney, rebounded by Hagerness. Sampson trying to drive inside, but he guarded well. He'll give it off to Hagerness. And Hagerness guarded well. He'll give it inside now to Fix. Fix looks to back his way in, guarded by Cummings. He'll back it out now to Hagerness. Hagerness thought about 3, looks for a screen now, and he'll drive inside. Put up a little floater. That is good from Hagerness for 2. And coming the other way is Luke Wilson. Again, this will be a game where I think Lamont and Isaiah Haas really kind of show out well because of the physical nature of the game. And looks like we're going to get a foul here on the attempted rebound by Pine City. They swatted it, but it's rebounded by Mora. Oslin, or excuse me, that's going to be Smart. And another foul. Oh, wait a minute. No, that's on Pine City. They got the foul in the wrong spot. It is on Pine City. It's Cummings, his first, team second. Sampson, he gives it to Hagerness, back to Sampson, and again, this Mora offense knows how to be patient. They will pass that ball back and forth a lot. I mean, they will be as patient as they have to be. If it takes them all 16 minutes and 15 seconds of this first half to find an open shot they like, they'll do it. I mean, that's how patient this offense is. They are not afraid to play in close games where they have to be patient, where they have to really kind of settle things down. And now a shot up and good from Dallas Fix, and all of a sudden a 5-0 run opened up here by the Mora Mustangs. And in a game like this, where I believe points might be at a premium for both sides, you do not need a run to open up a game like this if you're Pine City. Again, I think one thing you're going to have to avoid if you're either of these teams is allowing the other team to go on any sort of run. Lamont Sidney wants to go inside. Ooh, got him for a late travel call. I thought he traveled before the shot for sure, but then they call him on the shot. I don't know if they just couldn't get the whistle blown right away or if it was just a really late call, but either way, it is a turnover, and that's something you got to try and avoid. Turnovers are inevitable in any game you play, and now this pass nearly tipped and stolen by Sidney, but it falls to Jonah Smart. And again, I believe Sidney's going to be a huge factor in this one, along with Isaiah Haas. I think if you're the Dragons, you got to unleash those two. But if you're Mora right now, the size differential with Fix and Smart and Oslin, I think you're okay with that. And then the speed you've got with Hegerness and Sampson. I think you just got to play your offense right now. It's working. You're out to a 5-0 lead with almost 3 minutes off the clock already. I think you just continue to play your game. You don't really need to do anything real different. This ball going to be stolen away by Isaiah Haas. He quickly gets it up the court here to Luke Wilson. He wanted to spin around to get off a shot, but he was guarded well, and then he throws it off of a defender again, and it falls right back to Luke Wilson. But I think Smart got hit in a bad place. I'm not going to say where, but you can use your imagination if you're a man. You kind of have an idea of where I'm talking about. Schwarzbauer, as well as Maddox Balmer, check into the game for the Mustangs. And in for the Dragons, it is A.J. Austinson as well as Charlie Osmus. Dragons do have it. Shot up and no good by Lamont Sidney, rebounded by Maddox Balmer. I apologize, I was quiet. I was trying to write down these names. And a beautiful pass there from Sampson to Fix, and he puts it up and in for two. That is not who they got on the points there. I believe it was. And this ball stolen away by Sampson, and no good on the shot. And rebound still up for grabs, and ooh. A foul there on Mora. They're going to get it on Schwarzbauer. So Schwarzbauer going to pick up his first, and he was going for the ball, but unfortunately he tripped up a Dragon defender, so they're going to call him for the foul. Ball will go back to Pine City. We had a couple of turnovers there by both teams that led to some chaos. And I was unable to keep up with it just because I was trying to continue to write down names of people who were subbed in. So I apologize. But a couple of turnovers by both teams. One of them led to points for the Mora Mustangs. And now a shot no good by Austinson. It was rebounded by Sidney. And now we're going to get is that a jump ball call? Or a foul? I did not see. Oh, they're going to get a foul on Mora. I think they got Oslin for it. They did. It'll be his first, team second. A couple more substitutions. Oslin and Fix check out. In is Smart and Hegerness. Wilson will inbound here to Lamont Sidney. He'll give it off to Wilson. They're on the far side. They're down 7-0. 4.5 minutes have come off the clock here in this first half. Austinson has it near side, trying to dribble to the top of the key, and he almost had an opportunity for a three-point try, but wisely chose against it. Wilson will try a drive inside. He's going to be fouled, and he'll go to line and shoot two. Smart job there by Wilson to draw the foul, and now he'll go to line for two. That's going to be on Cole Schwarzbauer, his second, team's third. And again, Wilson at the line to shoot two, and Wilson can really help his team here. They're down 7-0 early, and first one is made, so that's a huge point there for Pine City as that helps them get on the board. Now only down by 6. And again, if you're either of these teams, one of the biggest things you want to avoid, I think, in this game is a run. You gotta, if you're either team, gotta avoid letting the other go on a run. That shot no good from Luke Wilson, and it was rebounded there by Balmer, so they will get the ball back. And it's Oslin trying to drive inside on Cummings. He'll get it off to Hegerness, but it goes through his hands and goes to Balmer, and that shot no good, rebounded by Oslin. He turns around, puts it up and in for two. 9-1 is the Mustang lead, and right now Dragons just having a tough time keeping them out of the paint area and allowing them to work inside. That shot is blocked there by either Oslin or Balmer. I'll give it to Oslin. I think he was the one who was closest to it. I couldn't really see down there. Just a lot of bodies. Lamont Sidney now on the perimeter on the near side, trying to drive inside. Charge call on Lamont Sidney, and he knew it. So Sidney going to pick up his second foul and the team's third. It's 9-1, Dragons trail. Early on, some trouble here for Pine City. They just right now can't find any offense, and Mora's offense is getting every and anything they want inside the paint. Sampson has it. He'll give it off near side to Ozen, now inside to Ballmer. Ballmer's just going to pull up a two, and that's a beautiful, beautiful shot there from Ballmer. He was just inside the free throw line and decided, hey, I'm wide open, why not? Drains it. 11-1 now, a 10-point deficit here for Pine City, and you might be saying, well, there's only 12 points on the board total. This thing can't be really heavily favored one way. Well, I would beg to differ down there on the court because the Mustangs right now are just kind of having their way. And again, the Mustangs are okay with playing a patient game, with playing it close. They're not worried about having to go quick. They'll do it. And this ball stolen away. Oslin will take it and put it up and in for two. Stolen by Oslin, and not a lot of chances that he gets for a fast break opportunity. He did there, and had it over Lamont Sidney. Now a three-point shot from Austinson. That's no good, and rebounded by Cummings. And yeah, right now rebounds are a big, big opportunity for Pine City to get points on the board right now. Rebounds heavily favoring the Mustangs as they're getting rebounds in each side they look. Austinson drove inside, but then gives it off to Luke Wilson, who shot is up, no good. Ballmer with another rebound here. Quickly up the court to Hegerness. Hegerness on the far side. Hegerness gets a screen, and then he'll give it back out to Sampson. Sampson on the near side to Smart. Smart will give it off now to Ballmer. Inside to Oslin, who puts it up and in for two. And yeah, you can't leave any one of their players alone inside. They're just going to eat it up in there. And so far, they I don't even think they've attempted a three yet, maybe one. And that's been it. I mean, Mora has just not had to shoot those long-range shots. They've been working hard inside and gotten those shots to fall. Now Luke Wilson drives inside. His shot is up and no good, but he was fouled. He'll go to the line and shoot two. 15, Max Sampson with the fourth team foul and his first. Looks like we'll get a timeout called here by Pine City. They're down by 14. 15-1 is the score in favor of the Mora Mustangs on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard. Embrace Orthodontics, custom braces or Invisalign with 3 locations in Pine City, Lindstrom, and Cambridge. EmbraceMN.com. Again, the Dragons and Mustang playing here on a simulcast on WCMP and KBEK. And over there on 106.5 FM, the Dragons and Moose going at it in a section quarterfinal matchup. I will try and see if I can get a score from that game. We'll see here. It was 2-1 last I checked. And try to get an update. And third period, I can't tell if the game, it looks like the game has ended, ladies and gentlemen. So the Dragons look like they fall in that one 2-1 to the Monticello Moose. That shot is up and it's the friendly bounce off the rim as it falls through for Luke Wilson. Their second points of the evening, and Luke Wilson will try to make it 3. No good. So 2 points is all they have mustered so far. And this ball is going to be loose, stolen away by Lamont Sidney. That just rolled right to him, and now they'll give it out near side for 3. That's off the mark from Luke Wilson. Lamont Sidney for 2, and he finally gets it to fall on the rebound, and he had to work through some traffic on that one. Mustangs have it. Smart and Sampson pass between themselves. Sampson, he'll wait. He'll be patient. He's okay with doing that. Now he'll drift to the near side. Sampson will direct fix to the near side as Sampson drifts to the far side. He'll give it to Hegerness. Hegerness wants Smart. Smart in the far side corner. Now give out to Sampson. Now to Fix. Fix now to Ozen, now to Sampson again. This is the kind of offense that the Mora Mustangs run, and a 3 there from Smart. It gets the Mustang bounce for 3 from Jonah Smart, and that is good to make it 18-4. Lamont Sidney's going to pull up from long range 3. That's no good. Rebounded here by Hegernus. And Hegernus will give it off to Sampson. He'll take it up the court. Hegernus will drift to the far side. Sampson gives it off. Far side to Smart. Now passes it to Oslin. Near side to Sampson for 3. That's well off the mark. And Nick Plajic will just watch that one bounce out of bounds. Smart idea. So the Dragons will get the ball back. It'll be Plajic and Wilson who come to the bench for a rest. Into the game is Oslinson and Cummings. So again, the Pine City Dragon boys hockey team falls to Monticello 2-1, ending their season. So a heartbreaker there for Pine City, as now we get a foul the other way, I believe, on Mora. It's going to be on Dallas Fix. That one on Dallas Fix of the Mustangs, his first and the team's 5th. It is Sidney at the line to shoot 2. He misses the first one. And he'll set up for the second. That one is up and good. So right now the Dragons are 50% from the line here this evening, and that is something they'll definitely have to improve on as the game goes along, because that's where they've got 3 of their 5 points. Pine City putting on some pressure, trying to keep the pressure, but between Sampson and Hegernus, they're being left pretty open, and Osmus is getting his cardio in. He's going between them both, and now the give it into Hegernus from the pass from Smart. It's no good, and that rebound going to be swatted out and rebounded by Osmus. Osmus will take it up the court. He gives it back to Sidney. Sidney trying to work on Oslin. He drives inside, backs it out, and it's going to be poked and stolen away by Smart. Smart will wait for the offense to catch up with him. Now he'll give it off on the far side to Sampson. Sampson double-teamed, tries to drive inside. He's even double-teamed even more, if that's even possible. And are we going to get a timeout called here, it looks like, by Mora? As Sampson was in some trouble there on that far side corner, double-teamed, and he had already picked up his dribble, so he was in a lot of trouble there. But smart timeout there by head coach Kurt Grachek for the Mora Mustangs. And with 7:51 to go on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard, the Mustangs lead 18-5. Embrace Orthodontics, Dr. Severs is committed to providing world-class orthodontic care in a friendly and comfortable atmosphere. You can start today at embracemn.com. So the Dragons down early by 13, and again, you might be saying this is a pretty low-scoring game, and it is. But the Mustangs are okay with playing that style of basketball here. They're okay with playing the patient game, so to speak. They're okay with taking as long as of an offensive possession as they can, and then finding a lane open that they like to drive inside. And they've only taken a couple of three-point shots here tonight. They've converted on one, so they're 50% from beyond the perimeter right now. But they've been, just having their way inside. And another one, beautiful pass inside to Jonah Smart for 2. And right now Pine City has no answer for it. Now down by 15. If you're Pine City, one silver lining you got to be looking at is, hey, we're only down by 15 at this point in the game. It could be a lot worse, so you got to look at it that way. And a big lift there from Lamont Sidney, who hits a 3 on the far side. Makes it 20-8. That's a big, big shot there by Lamont Sidney. And now Oslin will go to Hegernus, and you can't leave him wide open like that. And Balmer comes in out of nowhere to get the rebound. Puts it up, no good, and then the rebound was swatted out of bounds by the Mustangs. It will go back to the Dragons, so a huge break there for the Dragons as they had Hegernus wide open in the paint for 2. He missed the shot. Balmer came in out of another dimension to get the rebound. He couldn't get the shot to fall, and then the rebound was swatted out of bounds, and almost every possession the Mustangs have had, it has ended in points, and Isaiah Haas falls to the court, kept his dribble, and got it off to Osmus. So no travel call, and that was a good call. I know the Mustangs definitely wanted a call, but I thought that was a pretty good call. And now the pass to Osmus from Haas goes through his hands, and Hegernus will be the beneficiary of the steal. And now he'll look to drive inside. He'll just pull up outside the paint, and that one is up And in for two, a great shot there from Hegerness. So the Dragons have that great opportunity to go by the wayside, and now back the other way come the Dragons. Going to go off a foot of Jonas Smart, more or less the shin. Osmus will get it, and he'll give it off to Austinson. Now back to Osmus. Osmus wide open from three on the near side. That's no good. Easy rebound there for Maddox Balmer, who has 5 of them now. We'll give it to Hegerness. Now to Sampson. Back to Hegerness for three. That is, it went halfway down and then came out. Isaiah Haas gets the rebound. Another big break there for the Dragons. Lamont Sidney, he's been trying to drive inside all first half, but it hasn't been able to get anything. And there's Isaiah Haas for three. That's a big shot there to make it 22-11. And now we'll get a timeout called here by Pine City. Head coach Kyle Allen. They'll have 3 remaining after that timeout. It's 22-11. Mustangs with the lead here with just under 6 minutes to go in the first half on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard. Embrace Orthodontics, helping you find a smile you'll embrace forever. Find out more at embracemn.com. So it's been a tough first half here for Pine City, but as of late they've found more and more shot opportunities here as this first half has gone along, and it's literally the lead is cut in half now by the Dragons at 22-11, but Mustangs have had their absolute way inside the paint here tonight, and Dragons have had a couple of big breaks here from Mora, not scoring or hitting a rebound out of bounds, and they've capitalized only a couple times. They're going to need to capitalize on those a lot more, as right now for Pine City points are at a premium, but the last couple of possessions on offense have led to points. Great passing by the Mustangs, and that again, one of the things this Mustang team does so well is they pass the ball so well, and it's efficient passing. Their passes that they make, they're not tipped. They're not into a tough area. They're wide open passes. When they pass it, the guy they're passing it to is wide open. They're not making any tough passes. And now this pass inside to Dallas Fix, who puts it up and in for two. I mean, almost making it look easy. And that's what they do. They kind of lull you to sleep with the passes outside, and then they'll get a man to cut in underneath the basket, throw it down to him, and he'll put it up and in for two. Isaiah Haas with the ball that gets away from him. He gets kneed in the head, not maliciously by Jonas Smart. He was just looking for the steal. He winds up getting the steal, but got a knee to the head there from Smart. Again, nothing malicious about that. It was just Smart was going after the steal. Now Sampson will try. Oh my, how in the world did Sampson get that shot to fall? Sampson, half his body was behind the backboard, and he gets it to fall. 26-11 is the lead for Mustangs. Wilson drove inside, backs it out to Austinson. Austinson guarded well here by Schwarzbauer. Now gets it to Cummings. Cummings guarded by Fix. He lost the ball, but Wilson right there to pick up the loose ball. On the far side with under 4.5 to go, Wilson looks for a screen. He's guarded, though, by Fix, and now gives it off to Austinson. The Dragons are going to have to take more contested shots here in the first half if they want to get things going on offense, because right now, I mean, they're trying to drive inside. It's been nothing but pain inside for them, as that shot up and no good from Wilson, rebounded here by Fix, and Sampson has it now up the court. 4 minutes to go. Sampson gives it to Fix. Fix will try and drive inside on Haas, and Haas, that's where Haas comes in handy because he is willing to play physical. Smart for three. That's going to be a rare miss here. And nice job by Haas to just swat that rebound back, realizing he had Nick Plajic behind him. He swatted it back out to Plajic. Now Haas with the pass to Austinson. Austinson probably had a chance at three, but instead drives inside. Now gives it out to Cummings for three. That's going to be no good. And trying to get the rebound there was Austinson, but coming down with it was Hegerness. He'll give it off, and quickly goes Sampson up the court and easy in for two. I mean, again, the Mustangs just having their way inside the paint right now. They now lead 28-11. Wilson gets a screen. He'll give it off far side to Haas. Haas gets around one. Now gives it off to Austinson. Austinson to Plajic. Now to Wilson. Wilson takes it to the near side elbow for three. It's no good. Rebounded here by Oslin. And Oslin quickly up the court. He gives it off to Schwarzbauer. We're going to get a travel here by Schwarzbauer. So a huge break there for Pine City, as Nick Plajic will come to the bench to take a rest, as will Austinson. And in are Lamont Sidney and Charlie Osmus. That is a huge break for Pine City, as that was another easy drive inside from Mora, and Pine City is trying not to grab the fouls early on. They'll save that for the second half, but I can tell you right now, the second half, I can bet the Dragons will be a lot more aggressive of trying to keep those Mustangs from dribbling inside. Luke Wilson falls, but he manages to get the pass off to Cummings. Now to Sidney, now to Osmus on the top of the key for three. Charlie Osmus for three. Makes it 28-14. The lead is cut in half once again. Under 2.5 to go. Sampson quickly up the court. Guarded. And then he gets it off to Hegernus. Hegernus. Give it back to Sampson. Again, Osmus getting in his cardio. He's running between Sampson and Hegernus. He'll go back to Hegernus. Now go back to Sampson. Dragons trying to protect the inside without leaving anyone open. It's been tough, but I know that, again, they're going to try and protect the paint right now, and that's what they're doing. And now Sampson for three. He likes that, as that falls through for Max Sampson. 31-14 is the Mustang lead with under 2 minutes to go now. Luke Wilson up the court. Gives it off to Osmus, now to Wilson. Wilson takes it near side. Wilson gives it off to Lamont Sidney. Sidney looks to drive inside. And travel call on Lamont Sidney, so a turnover. And the turnover is a problem here in the first half for Pine City. They have to correct those mistakes in the second half, and that's a beautiful thing about basketball is if you go on a nice run to start the second half, if you're Pine City, all of a sudden you're right back in this game, and you've got momentum. That ball nearly stolen away. It gets inside. Beautiful passing, and Maddox Balmer just left wide open. Pine City trying to double team a couple of guys, and trying to create the turnover off steals, but a little too aggressive that time. They leave the inside wide open for Balmer for two, and Wilson will drive inside, somehow get that shot up and fall through the net. It's 33-16, and Mustangs in no kind of hurry. Sampson will get it up on the near side. He's going to be double teamed, and he'll give it off to Fix. Fix lost it, but he gets it back before it goes out of bounds. He'll now give it off to Smart, now to Sampson. Give it back to Smart, and back to Sampson. Again, they're so patient on offense, and Malacca was able to get the victory over them last Friday, but Mora trying to get back on the winning side of things, and Sampson will go inside to Smart, and Wilson tried to get the steal, but he's going to get a foul instead. And unfortunately, it's not like football where, both of the players go up and have a chance at the pass. Unfortunately, they usually give a little bit more leeway to the offensive player, and that time Wilson got the bump as the first shot is up and in from Jonas Smart. Plajek will check in for Sidney. Smart only makes one of two there, rebounded by Nick Plajek. His second rebound. Wilson will look for a screen and then drift to the far side. We'll see if they try to wait for maybe the last shot of the half. Mustangs doing a great job of getting their guys to get off the screen, and if they don't, they get another guy to come up and defend right away. Luke Wilson inside. That ball is swatted out of bounds by Jonah Smart. So a block there from Smart. The Dragons will get it back. With 8.5 seconds to go, Balmer will check out. In for him is Hegernus. Wilson will inbound here to Haas. Haas will give it to Wilson with 5 seconds to go, now 4. Wilson will look for that last second shot, and he'll get to the basket, and he'll drop it through for 2. And they will get the last points of the second half to make it a 34-18 deficit here at halftime. So it is halftime here inside Pine City High School. The Dragons trail 34-18 at half here on the simulcast of WCMP and KVEK. The Dragons and Mustangs at halftime. The Mustangs kind of having their way inside tonight, but the Dragons have found some offense, and will try to continue to work that offense here in the second half and try and get things going. And again, I mentioned before, if you get on a run to start a second half, that can really help your team and can really get you right back into it real quickly. So Dragons will look to do that here at the start of the second half, but we'll have to wait. It is halftime. The Mustangs lead 34-18 again on this simulcast of WCMP and KBEK. We'll take a commercial break here, word from our fine sponsors, and when we come back, we'll be recapping that first half of action and give you some keys to the second half as well. You're listening to boys basketball on WCMP.
Save now, plow now. Save now, mow later. The word to remember is save at Minnesota Equipment. End of the snow season means savings on all in-stock snow blowers. Top brands like Ariens and Toro. And if you're a get a jump on things type of person, get your new mower now and save before the grass starts growing. John Deere, Gravely, Toro, and more. Minnesota Equipment has the machines, experience, and inventory to help you get the job done in any season. Save now at Minnesota Equipment.
Are you interested in a technical degree that can quickly help you land your dream career? Or maybe you've always dreamed of going to a four-year college, but you'd like to start close to home. Either way, Pine Technical and Community College has you covered. PTCC offers more than 50 degrees in hot fields like healthcare information technology, advanced manufacturing, and business. PTCC is now accepting applications. Financial aid may be available. Online at pine.edu. Starting out or starting over, find your future at Pine Technical and Community College.
Hey, I'm Chad Greenway. When I was playing, I loved chasing down running backs. But you shouldn't have to chase your bank around when you're buying a home. Franzen Bank & Trust Mortgage Consultants will be with you stride for stride, like a linebacker on a running back, from pre-approval to closing and beyond. Let Franzen Bank guide you through the mortgage process. Learn more at franzenbank.com/get there. Franzen Bank & Trust. Real people, real results. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
A&W Restaurant Pine City is still making fresh root beer, that signature item since 1919. It's still made fresh and on-site with real cane sugar and a blend of secret ingredients. It doesn't get any better than this. Their world-renowned A&W root beer is a classic treat, and they can top it off with creamy vanilla soft serve to be known as the famous A&W root beer float. Now that's smooth, tasty, and refreshing. An American iconic A&W root beer float. It never tasted so good. A&W Restaurant Pine City. Come grab your root beer float today.
Your tomorrow is important to Pine Insurance Agency and Grinnell Mutual. That's why you can trust us to provide you with personalized service and a full range of insurance coverages you can count on. We'll be there when you need us so you can trust in tomorrow. For all your insurance needs, contact Pine Insurance Agency, your local Grinnell Mutual agent at pineagency.us today. Trust in Tomorrow is a registered trademark of Grinnell Mutual Reinsurance Company.
This high school sports season, Wellia Health wants to remind you that they want to help your athletes stay in the game. Sports medicine services are available at every Wellia Health campus. Whether it's the young athlete, the weekend warrior, or the accomplished athlete, injuries can happen. Get back in the game by calling the sports medicine experts at Wellia Health, 320-679-1313. Wellia Health. Live life well.
Back here on WCMP and KBEK, it's the simulcast of tonight's rivalry game between the Pine City Dragons and the Mora Mustangs. The Mustangs do lead here at halftime, 34-18. They got out to a nice start here to begin the first half, and they didn't allow Pine City on the board for the good first 4 or 5 minutes of this first half before Pine City did get on the board with a couple of free throws, but they only had 3 of their 5 points come by way of the free throw, and then they really got things rolling, and they got their points to start to come their way. They did drop in a 3 from Sydney and Charlie Osmus, but that was it. And Isaiah Haas, I should say. So 3 threes there in that first half. That really kind of helped them, of course, get 9 points out of their 18, so literally half coming by way of 3. But it was a tough first half. The Mora Mustangs had their way inside in the paint, and they did a great job of passing the ball, and that's what their offense does. They kind of pass the ball around as much as they can, kind of lull your defense to sleep as they pass around the perimeter, and they find someone to cut down underneath the basket, and they get that quick pass inside into that person, and then it's an easy up and 2 more times than not. As we take a look at the stat leaders for the second half, On that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard, Embrace Orthodontics, your customized smile journey starts with a free consultation. The team at Embrace Orthodontics wants to make your journey as seamless and convenient as possible with custom braces or Invisalign. They will also do all the insurance heavy lifting for you, and if you don't have insurance, ask about financing options. They'll find a plan to fit your budget at embracemn.com. So the stat leaders here for the Mora Mustangs, it'll be Max Sampson, who has 8, and then 6 for Dallas Fix, Jonah Smart, and James Oslin, and 4 for Maddox Ballmer and Josh Hegerness. They had 5 total steals there in the first half, 2 blocks, and 5 team fouls. They led things on the rebounds and as well as the turnovers. They turned the Dragons over quite a bit there in that first half, and that was part of the problem there for Pine City as we look to their stat leaders here in the first half. Both Luke Wilson and Lamont Sidney had 6, 3 for Osmus and Isaiah Haas. They had 2 steals and 4 team fouls there in the first half. So for Pine City, again, just got to find any and all offense that you can grab here in this second half, whether it's you driving inside, whether you're taking the long 2 or the 3. You got to find any offense that you can and take it here in the second half, I think, for Pine City, because right now the Mustangs have your number on defense, but the Pine City Dragons have found some things working on the offensive side, and they've had to work hard inside, and whether it's Wilson or Cummings or it's Lamont Sidney who's driving inside, they've had to work at some awkward angles to get those layups to fall from inside, just because you've got Dallas Fix or Jonas Smart or even Maddox Ballmer who are inside ready to block the ball or get a quick rebound. And that's one thing that the Mora Mustangs have done really well tonight, is rebounding the ball. They do lead in that category here tonight, but just getting the offense or defensive boards, they've led that and haven't allowed Pine City really any opportunity to even get a rebound on either side of the board. So Pine City going to be looking to do a little bit better job of boxing out here in the second half and getting those rebounds, because they are going to be huge here in the second half. And free throws, they were about 50% there in that first half. They're going to need to do a little bit better here in the second half. Those are free points that you're leaving off the board, and if you can hit on all the free throws, you will definitely start to get things going back your direction here in this game that you are trailing by about 16 points. So Dragons in some serious need of a run to start this second half. And again, I mentioned before halftime, if any team can start a half on a run, much like Mora did in the first half, you can start the half on a run, you are in pretty good position to not only give your team some momentum, but also get back into a game that you're trailing. So for Pine City, I know it's not going to be part of the game plan to go on a run, so to speak, but if you can get on a run, that would be huge. But I think for Pine City, they're going to have to really pick their shot selection carefully, which is going to be tough because down by 16 and Mora able to score what seems like at will. They're patient, but and they will take time off the clock, so you're not going to have a ton of time. But for Pine City, you're going to have to be more careful with your shot selection, I think, and you're going to have to try and just get some things open, but you can't be afraid of driving inside and taking the tough shots, because they have drawn some fouls from Mora. But you're going to have to be really careful going inside, because they've got 3 guys inside who are just waiting and ready to stand over you and knock that ball out. So for Pine City, it's going to be tough here, but I think they can do it. So that's my keys for Pine City. On the other side for Mora, I really don't think there's need for much change. If I'm Mora, I would say make sure to watch the perimeter, because Pine City will definitely be taking more perimeter shots, but also keep doing what you're doing inside. You're not allowing anything inside, and if you are, the Dragons have to do it. I mean, they have to work, and I mean, it's almost they have to use magic to try and get it to fall inside. And then on offense, yeah, really, you don't need to change anything. You got the offense working. You're getting some rebounds and some second chance opportunities, and you're making those beautiful passes. You're being patient. So on offense, I really don't see a need for change here for the Mora Mustangs. 18 minutes are back on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard. The Dragons will go left to right now on your radio dial. Mustangs will go right to left as the Dragons start with it here in the second half. Luke Wilson gets around one defender, puts it up and in for 2. And a nice shot there to start the second half for the Dragons. It's 34-20. A little bit of half-court pressure here by the Dragons, and Smart brings it to the front court now for the Mustangs. Quickly inside to Fix. Now to Oslin. He puts it up and no good. And a huge break there for Pine City as Haas grabs the rebound. He'll give it off to Luke Wilson. Wilson trying to drive inside, use those ball handling skills, and he will drive inside now. Gives it back out to Haas, now to Sidney. And that's one of the things I thought they were going to have to do more here in the second half is take those contested shots. Cummings cannot come up with the clean rebound as it's going to be taken in by Oslin. And now he'll take it up. Front court, has that ball knocked out, and he's going to be the last one to touch it. So Pine City will get it back. Sidney will inbound here to Luke Wilson, and these first couple minutes of this second half going to be key here for both teams. If you're Pine City, you can go on a little bit of a run. That'll get you right back into things. But if you're Mora, if you can hold them off of that run, that will really help you cement things here in this one. No good on that three from Haas, rebounded by Oslin. Hegerness has it now. He'll pull up from the free throw line, and that is no good. Again, halfway down before it came out, and then the rebound there by Fix, and then his shot is missed. Rebound by Oslin. He'll give it back out far side to Hegerness. Now to Smart. Smart's going to take the college three, and it was almost through, but no good as Cummings gets the rebound. Quickly up the court comes Luke Wilson. He wanted to create a little bit of a odd man rush, couldn't, and his shot is up no good. Smart there for the rebound, and that was tough. I like the idea there from Luke Wilson, trying to create just a little bit of pressure on that Mustangs defense and try and create a little bit of hesitancy by them, but they were ready and willing to get inside. And now passing it on the inbound and quickly inside to Fix. His shot is no good. Oslin with the rebound. He gets another rebound and puts it back up and in for two. 36-20. We'll get an early timeout here from Pine City with 16:03 to go in half number two. That'll be their third. They'll be left with 2 to go the rest of the way. 36-20 is the Mustang lead here in this second half. And again, Pine City going to have to take some more contested shots here in the second half, as well as when they're driving inside, they've got to hold on to the ball. They've got to be strong inside, and they're going to have to try and do a better job of getting some rebounds on the offensive side to create second chance opportunity, because if they can create those second chance opportunities off of an offensive rebound inside, they've got guys open on the perimeter who can hit the three. So I think right now maybe the idea is drive inside, get the offensive rebound, pass it back out to the perimeter, and try and get the open shot from three. I think that is the best chance right now for Pine City to try and get some scoring to go their way. Because again, they've been doing a good job of driving inside, but if they can get those rebounds and those second chance opportunities, man, they'll be, again, every time they drive inside, Mora collapses about 3-4 guys to get the rebound, and if Pine City can somehow muscle their way to an offensive rebound, they've got 4 guys open on the perimeter for three, so I think that might be something they'll look at doing, but we'll see. Kyle Allen will have something drawn up for sure. Wilson will give it to Haas, now to Sidney. Sidney will give it off to Seals. Seals pulls down the three-point attempt. He'll give it off to Sidney. And Sidney gives it off near side corner to Seals. Seals wanted to go to Haas, but said he'll pull it down. Nice, smart job there by Seals. And now he'll drive inside. That shot is up, no good. That's out of bounds, off of the Mustangs. That was close, but off of Mustang. Austinson and Seals, or excuse me, Austinson and Osmus check in. Out is Haas and Seals. I believe I still said it wrong. Either way, it's Austinson and Osmus in the game, and Haas and Seals who check out. That inbound goes to Riley Cummings. They block attempt, but the player was standing out of bounds, so it will go back to Pine City. Wilson, I like that inbound there. You get him inbounded underneath the basket, and Lamont Sidney tries to drive inside. He falls. And going to get a foul here on the Mustangs. Sidney is up, and he's grabbing his elbow. That foul going to go on Jonas Smart. Sidney is up and okay, and I'm sure that's smart. He hit that elbow right on the wood of the court. That does not feel good. That's almost like the funny bone. And there's nothing funny about it. Inbound, Dragons. It will go to Luke Wilson. Wilson gets the screen from Cummings. He'll give it off now to Osmus. Osmus will put up a three that's going to come up short. And again, 3-4 guys there for Mora. And one of them comes down with it. It's Sampson. His first rebound of the game. And these are unofficial stats I keep myself, so take these stats with a little grain of salt. And then first foul on the Dragons of the second half. Got Osmus for that one. 15:04 to go. Mustangs with a 36-20 lead. They'll inbound here to Schwarzbauer. His shot is no good, and Austinson will pull down the rebound. He'll drift to that far side, and that one will be knocked out of bounds by Mora. It's Smart there to knock it out of bounds. It will stay with the Dragons, and all but one Mustang will travel to the front court. And the Dragons get it to the front court now. They'll go inside to Cummings, and the nice pass from Osmus to Cummings. Osmus gets the shot to fall, plus the and one. That one's going to go on Maddox Balmer, the foul on the Mustangs, and Cummings has a chance for the three-point play here. That is up and good, so Cummings with a three-point play. And it makes it 36-23. Under 15 minutes to go. Schwarzbauer on the far side gives it to Smart. Now on the far side to Sampson. Sampson gets around Austinson, falls. No foul call. It's been a physical game between these two teams. And Mustangs will get it inside to Balmer, and Lamont Sidney will grab the rebound. He comes quickly up the court, and he's going to get called for the charge there. He kind of used the ball, unfortunately, to get his way inside, and unfortunately can't do that, and that'll be his third. So Lamont Sidney tried to drive inside. I don't know if he meant to use the ball per se, because I think that's almost where the ball got stuck. He might have moved it too late, and the ball got stuck there, and I think if he wouldn't have had the ball at his stomach, almost driving into Sampson, they might have got the foul instead of on Sidney on Sampson. As Sampson in the front court drives it just inside the paint and puts a little floater up in for two. 38-23. Wilson gives off to Osmus on the far side. Osmus back to Wilson. Wilson will give it off to Ostinson. Now back to Wilson on the near side. Wilson trying to find something to work with, just so well guarded by the Mustangs, but finally gets it inside to Cummings for two. And that was a beautiful pass. He took it right off his hip and almost bowled it to Cummings inside, and it's a nice job there for the Dragons. 38-25 they trail. 13-10 to go here in the second half. Sampson going to direct traffic on the Mustang side. Now he'll give it to Hegernus, top of the key. Standing at the Dragon logo, he gives it off. Far side, it's Smart. Now inside to Fix. Fix back outside to Smart. Sampson on the near side elbow for three. He pulls it down, going to drive inside. He gets fouled. It won't be a shooting foul. It's going to go on Luke Wilson, his second, team's third. Osmus, Austinson, and Cummings check out. It's Plajek, Haas, and Seals in. Balmer out for the Mustangs, and in is Oslin, and then Sampson. Nice delivery to Fix, and he puts it up and in for two. 40-25. And Luke Wilson drives inside. He puts up a floater that goes off the backboard and in for two. Nice job there by Wilson. 40-27, but here come the Mustangs right back. They'll go inside to Oslin, now to Hegernus, and now to Fix. And he'll put it up and in for two. It's just the passing of Mora is just so smooth. It's so quick and so smooth. There's no hesitancy in it. It's just boom, here, boom, there, inside, up into. I mean, it is just smooth. Seals will drive, and now give it off to Wilson for the Dragons. Wilson will drive inside. That shot was, I think, tipped a little bit, and he gets his own rebound, and then that shot is up and no good. Rebounded here by Hegernus. As the Mustangs take it the other way, Jonah Smart on the far side gives it off to Fix inside. Fix, and has that one stolen away here by Lamont Sidney. He'll take it up the court and now give it off to Seals, and Seals will try and put that one up, but it was blocked by Oslin, and that was a late try and keep the ball alive by Sampson. It had already hit out of bounds before Sampson threw it back in, so sometimes you're already in the motion of it. You're just like, screw it. Luke Wilson, far side for three, and that's good. Good pass over to him on that far side corner for three. Makes it 42-30. Sampson gives it off now to Hegernus, now to Smart. Smart to Sampson again. We could see the Mustangs slowing things down here a little bit as they have realized that, hey, Pine City's starting to grab a little bit of momentum. Let's slow things down. Hegernus for a long three. No good, and Lamont Sidney going to draw the foul. He got the rebound and the foul there, and Smart kind of asking, hey, how was that a foul? But I think what happened was is as he was going for the ball, he might have got too much arm. Oh, my goodness. They've got Smart with 4 fouls? They've got him with 2. Wow, there's a discrepancy there. And, yeah, Smart is even asking, how do I have 4? I think he only has 2, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, even Smart is asking, there's no way I have 4. I mean, they only had, 5 in the first half. I know he didn't get 3 of them. And there, Kurt Grachek, their head coach, is asking, hey, how it is. There we go. They got it fixed there. So he only has 2. I was going to say that I know I don't do a great job of keeping up with stats sometimes, but I know he don't have 4 of them. They only have 8 fouls. I know he don't have half. So they get that figured out. Now he only has 2, as he should. And Lamont Sidney will bring it up the court here for the Dragons. Goes inside, gets one man to miss, and he'll put up a strong shot through some hands, and he'll draw the foul. They're going to get that one on Oslin, his second, and the team's 4th. Kirk Grachek wants an explanation on how the foul was called. The ref giving him that explanation. I was well inside through some traffic, so I couldn't see it. Lamont Sidney does make the first free throw and does not get the kind roll on the second one. A strong rebound there by Oslin. We get off to Sampson, who brings it up the court. And now looking to pass, he gives it off to Hegernus. Hegernus thought about the shot, now gives it to Sampson. Sampson fakes the 3 and then pulls up from 3, and that shot is no good. Sidney with the rebound. He'll bring it up the court, and an ill-advised pass gets through some more hands, but it's going to be Sampson who comes away with it with a steal. Sampson has it, gives it off to Oslin. Oslin waits, gives it to Balmer. Balmer now to Sampson on the far side. Going to get a foul here on Pine City, I believe. Going to be on Lamont, and that'll be his 4th, unfortunately, and he'll probably have to come out. Wilson and Plaja check in for Osmus and Sidney. Sidney not happy about that last foul call, and wide open for 3 is Max Sampson. That is no good. He took a little bit off of that one for some reason, and we'll get a foul call on Austinson there, and that's a tough one. He's going after the ball, but he bumps Sampson in the back, and Sampson trips, and yeah, that's one of those where it's the defender isn't doing it at all. He's going for the ball, but it's a case of where, well, he just may have tripped or fell into the back just a little too much and drew the foul. As now Sampson will get that one to drop for 2, 44-31. Luke Wilson has it. Waiting for the call from head coach Kyle Allen. Luke Wilson keeps that ball alive, slips on the court, gives it off to Cummings. Cummings now to Luke Wilson. Wilson will take a long 3 that falls through. That's about Curry range. I'll call it NBA range. 44-34. And now the Mustangs will certainly just sit and take time off the clock. Ballmer gets the pass inside just from the free throw line. Turns around, puts up and in for two. And again, these are the smart shots from the Mustangs we've seen all night. Is if you're wide open on a shot like that, why not take it? And that one's going to go off of Wilson's foot out of bounds. It will go back to the Mustangs. Another turnover here for the Dragons that will give it back to the Mustangs. And Sampson to Hegernus, now to Smart. Gives it back to Sampson, who will give it over to Fix. To Oslin, now to Hegernus. Hegernus thought about three. He'll give it off to Smart. Smart to Sampson. Now to Oslin. Now to Smart again for three. That's good. Smart for three. Makes it 49-34. 8.5 minutes to go. Haas has it. Gives it off to Luke Wilson. Makes the defender miss. Puts up a shot. He took too much off of it. Rebounded by Dallas Fix. The pull down, the fake shot to get the defender miss almost threw off his timing and unfortunately misses the three. And now another shot from three here from Smart. That is no good. Cummings will bring in the rebound for Pine City. Luke Wilson will take it up the court and put up a lob into the basket that falls in off the backboard. And Mustangs have it. Lead 49-36. Again, the Mustangs, they're okay with these lower scoring games and taking as much time off the clock as they need on their offensive possessions. They really don't care. They'll play the long game because they know that their offense can really shoot from anywhere. And there they show it. Hegernus from the far side, a long two. Dropped it in, 51-36. Luke Wilson gets around one defender on a screen, gives it off to Haas, and it's going to go out of bounds and off of the Dragons. We get a substitution. Osmus and Sidney will check back in for Plajic, and it looks like Austinson. Wilson and Sampson were battling on that far side for that ball, but unfortunately went out of bounds off of Wilson. So it goes back to the Mustangs, and Mustangs will inbound it. Hegernus to Sampson. Sampson quickly up the court to the front court. Now to Hegernus again. He'll give it back to Sampson. He fakes the three, gives it off. Now inside to Oslin. Now to Hegernus, top of the key. Back to Sampson, and again, we'll have no problem wasting some of this clock. Beautiful pass inside to Fix, but his shot is up and no good. Rebounded by Cummings for the Dragons. Luke Wilson takes it up the court. He lost that ball as it was poked out, but he got it back. Gives it off to Sidney. Sidney in some trouble. He'll give it off now to Wilson. A long three from Wilson. That's good. That's NBA range for Wilson again. Wilson for three, 51-39. And that might be the type of shots they're going to have to shoot here from whether it's Osmus, Sidney, Wilson, Haas. You're going to have to get those perimeter guys to shoot those long ones. 51-39. The Mustangs still lead here with 6:20 to go in half number two. And again, Mustangs will just pass the ball back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and they'll wait. And a shot from Hegernus. That was halfway down before it came out. Then it's out of bounds and rebounded almost by Cummings, but it goes off his head out of bounds. 6:06 to go here in the second half on that Embrace Orthodontic scoreboard. Dr. Severs is committed to providing world-class orthodontic care in a friendly and comfortable atmosphere. Start today at EmbraceMN.com. They're also helping you find a smile you'll embrace forever. EmbraceMN.com. The inbound pass to Sampson. He'll pull up from the free throw line and drop it through. Again, it's just the smart shot selection here by Mora. They don't really need to take any crazy shot here. They believe in their defense, and their defense has shown why. Haas can't take in the pass cleanly from Wilson as the Dragons have it in their front court. Now Wilson will look to drive inside. Puts up a floater. It drops through, plus the and one. So Wilson with a chance for the three-point play. That foul is going to go on Hegernus, his first, and the team's fifth. Apparently his second. We'll get a timeout called here by the Mustangs. They'll be left with three. 53-41 is the lead here for the Mora Mustangs on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard. Embrace Orthodontics, your customized smile journey starts with a free consultation. The team at Embrace Orthodontics wants to make your journey as seamless and convenient as possible with custom braces or Invisalign. Find out more at embracemn.com. Again, stay tuned after the game. We'll have our interview with our A&W player of the game as well as head coach Kyle Allen. And you can listen to those. You can listen back to those interviews on our website at wcmpradio.com or kbk.com. Those are usually up the day after, at or after that noon hour. So at around that noon hour or a little bit after, that's when you can expect to see those post-game interviews up on our websites. So the timeout over with, both teams getting back out onto the court. 12-point deficit here for Pine City as Luke Wilson lines up for a possible three-point play. And he'll get it. Luke Wilson has been hot here as of late, and I would assume that he's got to be the guy that you got to be giving the ball to, and Max Sampson will take it the other way. His shot is up, no good, rebounded by Oslin, and then we get a whistle, and I think a foul here on Pine City. It is on Cummings, his second, team is at sixth. That'll send Oslin to the line for two. Oslin's first one is no good. Oslin no good on the second, but it's rebounded by Jonah Smart. That is a big rebound there for the Mustangs, and Jonah Smart just going over everybody. He'll get the pass now from Sampson. Now give it off to Oslin, and Oslin will give it out to Sampson, who fakes the three. Nice job by Osmus not to bite on that. Pass gets to Smart, and Smart will look to pass out, but he's fouled. That's going to go on Haas, his first, team seventh, and unfortunately for Pine City now, it's 1-1 until that 10th foul. Here on out for Mora. It's Smart at the line for the 1-1, and he misses, and Cummings will get the rebound for Pine City. So the Dragons have it in their front court. Charlie Osmus from three. That's a big shot from Osmus. 53-45. Mustangs with the lead. 4.5 minutes to go on this simulcast here on KBK and WCMP. I want to thank everyone for tuning in tonight, whether you're listening on KBK 95.5 or on WCMP 100.9. Whether you're a Mora Mustang fan or a Pine City Dragon fan, thanks so much for tuning in. And oh my goodness, it is just beautiful passing here by the Mustangs that lead to Jonah Smart dropping that ball in for two inside the paint. Luke Wilson, he finds a lane he likes, and that's not the shot he was looking for. Rebounded by Oslin quickly up the court to Fix. He puts it in for two. You could hear the slap on the backboard from Sidney. Wanted so badly that block. Maybe taking out a little bit of frustration too. That one going to be a foul here on Smart, and that's a good call. He hooked the arm just a little bit as he went for the poke, and I mean just a little bit. If he pulled back half second before, that would have been clean, but that is a foul there on Jonah Smart, his third, team's sixth. Haas will give it off to Wilson on the near side. Wilson looks for a screen, stands at the top of the key, gives it off to Osmus, and with 3:40 to go, Pine City's going to have to start putting up shots from three, I would think. And nice move there by Wilson to get around the defender, put it up and in for two. Or you just let Wilson do his thing and let him cook. 57-47, under 3.5 to go, but the worry here is Mora, again, a patient offense. They're not going to move the ball if they don't need to. they're not going to score if they don't need to. And they really, oh, that ball knocked out of bounds by Osmus. It was out of the hands of Hegernus, and almost got a big one there, did the Dragons. But again, if you're the Dragons, one thing you don't want is more just to get comfortable passing the ball around, because that's what they're able to do, and they're such a patient offense that they will lull you to sleep with the pass, and then all of a sudden you've got a man underneath the basket wide open. Hegernus will take that shot, and no good, and Lamont Sidney with the rebound there for the Dragons. A odd man rush, and got it to Riley Cummings, who put it up and in for two, and wow, nice pass there from Lamont Sidney. He had a 2-on-1 opportunity. He took it all the way to the basket, passed it off to Cummings, and he kind of had to spin around for that one and then drop it in, 57-49. But again, the danger here for Pine City is Mustangs are so patient on offense. They do not care. They will pass this ball around for the next 2.5 minutes if that's what it takes. They are that patient. But again, the worry with that is they kind of lull you to sleep. I know I sound like a broken record, but that's just what they do, and there it is. Man wide open underneath is Oslin. There's that passing that we talked about, and again, Oslin was wide open underneath. So with under 2.5 to go, we're going to start probably seeing only threes from Pine City, and can't imagine they'll start to foul yet, but we're close. 2 minutes to go. Wilson will get a screen, and he'll look to drive inside. Now back it out to Lamont Sidney for three. He looked at his feet to make sure it was a three. No good. Rebound, a huge one there by Cummings, and then it's stolen away by Max Sampson, the exact opposite of what the Dragons needed. And now with under 2 minutes to go, that ball, oh, a late whistle on the foul. I don't know if that was 32 or 23. It was Cummings. So 1-1 here for the Mustangs. Dallas Fix. That one's no good. Rebounded by Sidney. Between Sidney and Cummings, them two have done a really good job rebounding here in the second half for Pine City. But again, if you're Mora, your offense, you're okay with what your team has right now. And again, they're comfortable playing in this type of game. Right now it's a 10-point lead, and way too high off the backboard there for the Dragons, and it's rebounded by Oslin. But if you're Mora, they're comfortable with being in this type of game. They're okay with playing in this type of game because that's just how their team is built. They're okay with playing in this type of game or going and scoring 80, 90 points. They're okay with either one. And then the foul on Pine City will send James Oslin to the line. That's going to go on Haas, his second. And one more foul. It'll be 2 shots here. But this is a 1-1 from Oslin. He missed 2 earlier, so that's the guy that the Dragons wanted here at the line. That one's no. Oh, that was a little bit too hard, and everybody, including Mora, thought that was not going to fall through, but they got the friendly bounce on that one. Did James Oslin. Looked a little too hard off the back of the rim, but he got the friendly bounce. Got it to fall through. So 1 of 2 there as it's no good, but a huge rebound by Dallas Fix, and then it's no good. Lamont Sidney will get the rebound here for Pine City. He'll look to drive inside, and ooh. Gonna get a foul call here on Mora, and that was a that one was close. I don't know if that one was actually a foul. That one was close. Lamont Sidney at the line to shoot 2. His first one goes off the front of the rim and in. It's the first one to drop. Barnwell will check in for Oslin. And we're 101 away from the final buzzer. It's still a 10-point lead here for Mora. But if you're Pine City, you feel like you're right there. You feel like you're on the comeback train right now. Shot is up and good from Sidney. He makes them both. Those are 2 big free throws right there. Drops the lead to 9. Mora Mustangs, and unfortunately Wilson will have to foul Sampson. Not the guy you want going to the line, but unfortunately with under a minute left, that's what you have to do. And now it's 2 for the Mustangs here on out. That is the 10th team foul for Pine City, the 3rd for Luke Wilson, and unfortunately you're going to have to make sure Sidney doesn't get another one. Cummings has 3, Sidney has 4, and Wilson has 3. So, a big miss there from Sampson. Balmer will check out. Back in for Miss Oslin. A big miss there from Max Sampson. And no good on that one. Rebound is tipped to Lamont Sidney from Isaiah Haas. Sidney going to be double teamed. He'll give it off to Wilson. And you can bet we'll see Wilson take it to the basket. That's no good. And that one hits the baseline out of bounds, and it will go back to Mora. 60-51, 46 seconds to go. Balmer will check in for Oslin. So if you're Mora, the one thing that you're going to do is just continue to pass the ball. And I think if you're Pine City, only a couple seconds to come off the clock, about 5. That'll send Hegerness to the line for 2, and that foul goes on Osmus. And yeah, Pine City right now making sure they're careful with who gets the foul. 60-51 is the Mora lead. Shot is good from Hegerness. Balmer back out for Oslin, excuse me. 61-51, 41 seconds to go. And Hegerness good on both. 2 big free throws right there from Hegerness. Makes it an 11-point lead. And a long 3 from Wilson. No good. And rebound up for grabs. Oslin going to bring it down. And Oslin will give it to Hegerness. He's going to be fouled by Haas. And some of these Mora fans, players want a technical, but I don't think that's worth a technical right there. He's trying to get the foul and pushed him on the back. And I mean, it was a little bit of a hard push, but when you're running at full speed to try and get a foul, there's not really a soft push you can get, or a soft, foul. Hegerness is good on the first, and that will, I don't want to say do it, but with under 30 seconds to go, that is almost good enough. Makes them both, and that's going to make it tough here. Under 30 seconds to go, Wilson will drive to the three-point line, and too little time to be passing too much there. That shot is no good, and that will pretty much seal it. Hegerness with the rebound, and that'll pretty much do it. All the Mustangs have to do is bring it to the front court, and that will end it. So the final here in this one, the Mustangs get the victory over Pine City, 64-51. The Dragons fought hard to the very end, but unfortunately will come up short in this rivalry game against the against the Mora Mustangs, 64-51. So we'll take a commercial break here. Word from our fine sponsors, and when we come back, we'll be set for our post-game interview with our A&W Player of the Game.
Did you know that Franzen Bank and Trust is a Minnesota-owned company? And they're one of the largest community banks around. That's a great combination. As a community bank, they're dedicated to their customers and the communities they serve. You might say they're big enough to help, small enough to care. Last March, they provided $20,000 in grants to 6 different Minnesota communities. They also processed well over 1,700 PPP loans, allowing local small businesses to keep their employees on the payroll during the pandemic. Franzen Bank and Trust. Real people, real results. Member FDIC.
Save now, plow now. Save now, mow later. The word to remember is save at Minnesota Equipment. End of the snow season means savings on all in-stock snow blowers. Top brands like Ariens and Toro. And if you're a get a jump on things type of person, get your new mower now and save before the grass starts growing. John Deere, Gravely, Toro, and more. Minnesota Equipment has the machines, experience, and inventory to help you get the job done in any season. Save now at Minnesota Equipment.
Are you interested in a technical degree that can quickly help you land your dream career? Or maybe you've always dreamed of going to a 4-year college, but you'd like to start close to home. Either way, Pine Technical and Community College has you covered. PTCC offers more than 50 degrees in hot fields like healthcare information technology, advanced manufacturing, and business. PTCC is now accepting applications. Financial aid may be available online at pine.edu. Starting out or starting over, find your future at Pine Technical and Community College.
Hey, I'm Chad Greenway. When I was playing, I loved chasing down running backs. But you shouldn't have to chase your bank around when you're buying a home. Franzen Bank and Trust mortgage consultants will be with you stride for stride, like a linebacker on a running back, from pre-approval to closing and beyond. Let Franzen Bank guide you through the mortgage process. Learn more at franzenbank.com/get there. Franzen Bank and Trust. Real people, real results. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Back here on the simulcast of WCMP and KBEK, we're now joined by our A&W Player of the Game, Charlie Osmus. Osmus, first of all, congratulations on being our A&W Player of the Game.
Yeah, thank you.
This, of course, not the result you guys had hoped for, but what was the message at halftime to after that slow start to this first half?
Yeah, our coaches wanted us to be more aggressive. They thought we weren't fighting hard enough. We had to be more gritty in the second half. That's usually what we take pride in, and we thought we did a good job of that coming into the second half to keep us in the game.
Absolutely, and you hit 2 big threes here in this game in the face of some pressure. Is that just come with you practicing that, or is that just something that kind of happens in game with everything going on?
Yeah, I don't really think about it a lot. I just keep shooting, have a short-term memory, and just kind of don't worry about anything else.
Yeah, for sure. And, of course, after this game, you guys will move on. And what do you take away from this game going forward?
Well, I thought we showed a lot of good fight at the end. I think it'll help a lot heading into the later parts of the season and into the playoffs.
Absolutely. Well, Charlie, thank you so much for joining me, and congrats on being our A&W Player of the Game.
Thank you.
That, again, was our A&W Player of the Game, Charlie Osmus. Will now be joined by the head coach, Kyle Allen. And Coach Allen here, first half got off to a little bit of a slow start there for you guys. What was kind of the message there to get them going?
It was just about fighting. Not no bar fights or anything, but just going out there and grinding and being willing to grind and being willing to go at it. And, early in the second half, I thought we gave up a flurry of offensive rebounds, and I told him, I was coaching third grade basketball this weekend, and we talked about how the tallest guy gets the ball if you don't box out. And I think that's kind of unfortunately what we saw a little bit there, and I thought we changed. I thought we tried to pick it up. I thought we tried to adjust, and the physicality started to come back a little bit. And obviously Mora is very physically imposing. They're big, they're strong, they're athletic, and so we need to be able to match and exceed that as best we can. And I thought there was too many long stretches tonight where we let them have their way. And unfortunately, I think that was the difference in tonight's game.
Yeah, and you guys have played plenty of physical teams here this year. What do you believe that does for your team going forward?
I think there's less shock. I don't think we were shocked by it. I don't think we were. For whatever reason, we just came out with a slow aggression tonight, and again, I thought that was the difference in the ball game. It felt like a lull. It felt like we were struggling to get all the way up to optimum performance tonight, and so I didn't think we were shocked. I don't think we were. We did not expect it, which is again what we gain, and through playing a lot of teams that have a lot of physicality, playing the bigger schools, you don't get shocked by it as much because you see it more often. But I just thought it took us too long to rise to the occasion. And when we did, I thought we played really well. I thought we played with them. I thought we did a nice job. We gave ourselves a chance in this game. It was just a little too late, and you can't have that kind of mistakes and that kind of things bite at you when you're playing one of the best teams in the state.
Right, and second half completely different from the first half, and we talk about these starting 5 being different from other years past. So what was it like to see those guys come together in the second half and take that fight all the way to the end?
Yeah, we're missing Mason, and that's a big cog in what we have, and so we've had other guys step up, and it's been different guys. I thought last Friday Ashton Seals and Nick Plajic really stepped up and played huge minutes for us, and tonight I thought Charlie played phenomenal minutes for us and was really giving it what he had, and hit some big shots, and that's what we need from him. So anytime someone is unable to go out there, it's always the job of the collective to help rise to the occasion, and I think we're having guys do that. We hope we get Mason back quicker than later, and hopefully our guys are gaining some really good experience and are ready to bring more to the table as the season is coming into its final leg.
And talking about these players and looking at it, some of these guys may not get the gaudy stats on the stat sheet, but when you look at it, they're doing the right things. What does that mean for you as a coach to see that?
It's huge, and that's something that, for whatever reason, especially in basketball, it feels like it's one of the hardest things to get people to buy into. It's not about the things like the score. I mean, the scoring is important, obviously, but it's not the end-all, be-all. And I think for us, we're really trying to push, taking charges. We're trying to push getting rebounds, But even the things that don't show up on your traditional stat book, those are the things we're keeping track of. We're keeping track of how many times a guy's letting his guy go middle, or how many times we're getting middle, or how many times we're missing a deny, or whatever the case may be. And so that's kind of some of the stuff that we want to emphasize to our guys, and the hope is that they, in return, feel it's important, and we want to reward the guys that go out there and try to do those little things correctly.
Absolutely, and of course, not the result you wanted, but going forward, what can you and your team take away from playing in a game like this?
Well, and it's it's just like when we play the 3A schools. We're playing one of the best teams in the state here in 2A basketball, and so we know we can do it. We know we can play with them. Obviously, we would see some film, we'd make some adjustments, and we'd be able to do that. But again, we have the pieces in place to be able to play with the best. And so our thought, our goal, our knowledge is that any given night, we can play with the best, and that's hopefully what we're taking from this tonight.
And you guys have a couple more games here before the season is over. Hinckley Phillips in another conference game. Then you wrap up the season against ESCO, who is another pretty good team. Talk about those two games coming up here for you guys.
Yeah, obviously, Hinckley, again, a team who knows each other inside and out, and they've had some nice wins this year, obviously, and this they have a group coming through that they really like. And so, again, there's no secrets in conference. They know what we want to do. We know what they want to do. And it's who can out-execute the other in that. With ESCO, I mean, again, you're talking about perennial state participant. They're favored to go to state year in and year out. They got players that are being recruited by the University of Minnesota to play football. They obviously have a lot of positive things going for them up there. And it was a crazy game with them last year. And of course, it's a non-conference, non-section game. But again, that game before playoffs, just trying to get that in and make sure you know what you're doing.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, thank you so much for joining me here this evening, and good luck going forward.
Hey, appreciate you, and thank you guys for always taking care of us here.
Absolutely. That, again, was head coach Kyle Allen. Thanks so much to him for joining me. And, our player of the game was Charlie Osmus, who hit two big from beyond the perimeter shots here in this game that really helped his team stay in it and kind of gave them some juices to keep this fight going on. But unfortunately, you heard Coach Allen, just too little too late for this team. But again, they showed fight up until the very end. And Mora, top 20 team in the state, number 2 in the section, and this was a very good game by both teams. As we take a look at our stat leaders, as again the Mora Mustangs get the victory here this evening over the Pine City Dragons, 64-51. As we try and finish up the stats here for the Mustangs, and their stat leader will be Max Sampson with 14 points, 12 for Dallas Fix, 11 for both Jonas Smart and James Oslin, and 10 for Josh Hagerness, then 6 for Maddox Balmer. And James Oslin had a double-double here tonight with 14 rebounds and 11 points. They, as a team, had 7 steals total in the game, and they also had 3 blocks as well. And they had a total of 12 team fouls in the game as well. But again, they had 4 guys score in double digits here this evening. That is pretty darn impressive for the Mustangs. On the other side, for the Pine City Dragons, it was Luke Wilson who led the way with 26 points, 9 for Lamont Sidney, 7 for Riley Cummings, 6 for Charlie Osmus, and 3 for Isaiah Haas. 9 rebounds there for Lamont Sidney, 7 for Cummings. They also had 3 steals in the game, no blocks, and 16 total team fouls. They had 12 here in the second half and 4 in the first half. Taking a look at these two teams' schedule coming up here for Pine City, they're supposed to play Hinckley-Finlayson here on Thursday up in Hinckley, but that game will more than likely be postponed, so we'll wait and see if they'll reschedule that for Friday night or if they'll reschedule it for early next week or late next week. We will keep you up to date. Again, stay tuned to our Facebook for updates on those. And then to wrap up the regular season, maybe possibly next Tuesday, they'll host ESCO, and again, a state perennial powerhouse in ESCO. For the Mora Mustangs, they improved to 18-4 on the year, and 7-3 in the conference. They will be on the road, supposed to be on the road on Thursday against Foley. We'll see if that gets moved to Friday or early next week. Then on Saturday, they'll travel up to Aiken. Next Tuesday, they'll host Spectrum before wrapping up the season on the road at St. Cloud Cathedral on March 3rd. So some big games coming up for Mora against Foley, Aiken, Spectrum, and St. Cloud Cathedral. They end the season with 2 straight section games. In fact, 4 of these last 5 for them, including tonight, are against section opponents and class opponents. So it'll be a good test for Mora as they end the season here with 4 more games against Foley, Aiken, Spectrum, and St. Cloud Cathedral. So both these teams will be looking forward to the playoffs. Maybe they'll meet up again in the playoffs. We'll have to wait and see. As I think the only way, though, looking at it right now, the only way that they could meet up potentially in the playoffs was if Pine City no, actually, now that I look at it, they could meet up in the second round. So if Pine City stays at number 10 and Mora stays at number 2 and they both win their first playoff game, they could meet up in the quarterfinals over at St. John's on March 11th. So we'll be looking forward to that, and I can bet you right now if they do meet up in the playoffs, that will be a game where we see back and forth action, and it's gonna, I think, come down to whoever has the ball last to whoever wins that game. But they could see each other again in the playoffs if the seedings stay the way they are. If Pine City stays at 10, if Moore stays at 2, they could potentially meet up in the second round of the playoffs at St. John's University if they both win their first round. But that is still a couple of weeks away. So I want to thank all of you for tuning in here tonight to the Dragons taking on the Mora Mustangs here at home, and the Mustangs come away with the 64-51 victory. Of course, I want to thank all of our fine sponsors for sponsoring this broadcast. We can't do it without them, so thanks so much to all of them. Remember, for your sports updates in the morning on the morning shows with Rockin' Robin Riley on 95.5 FM, that's at 7:30 and 8:30, and then over on 100.9 FM, this very station, with Joshua Miron at 7:45 and 8:45. That's when you can catch your local sports updates. We'll talk about this game a little bit. We'll talk about other sports going on around our local listening area, so be sure to tune in there. And, of course, stay tuned to our Facebook and our website as we will keep you up to date on games that are supposed to be played, if they'll be canceled, if they'll be postponed, when they'll be postponed to, or what is coming up, as well as some game recaps for these games that we call as well. Of course, if you're watching this game on YouTube, be sure to like and subscribe. That way you are notified anytime we go live with a local sporting event. So again, that red subscribe button on the YouTube, be sure to hit it so that you are notified anytime that we go live with a local sporting event. Again, the final score, the Dragons fall to the Mora Mustangs 64-51. Thanks to all of you who tuned in here tonight. Thanks to all the fine sponsors who sponsored this broadcast. And of course, for WCMP, I'm Ethan Game Day Gilman. Remember to be kind to everybody. You never know what someone is going through, and your kindness could truly make their day. The final one more time, Mora 64, Pine City 51. For WCMP and KBEK, I'm Ethan Game Day Gilman. Have a great rest of your night.